Welcome to Keep Going, a podcast about failure and success, hosted by John Biggs. Every week, we talk to an amazing person about a time they failed and what they learned. And remember, when you're going through hell, keep going.
Welcome back to Keep Going, a podcast about success and failure. I'm John Biggs. Today on the show, I have someone amazing, one of my favorite directors, Bille. You've been working for over 40 years in the industry. You've produced some of my favorite films. You have a new film coming out, The Kiss. Welcome, Bille. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you very much for being here.
So for somebody like you, somebody who has a wide range of experience and has been in their specific industry for a long time, I guess the main question is, how did you maintain this focus over the course of an industry in a period in the industry that's changing massively and rapidly? How are you maintaining your focus, and how are you building more work?
I think that because ever since I was a child, my way of understanding was I started to write stories from when I was very young, and I wrote periods of scenes, what you said, from my life, and putting these scenes or episodes, moments together. That's what was my way of understanding what was going on. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the same thing I'm doing over and over again. If I have an issue, or if there's something that is important to me, then I take the essence of what's going on, and then I put it together to one development. And then that's how I express myself, how I understand that. And it gives me so much pleasure, and it's so fulfilling, and it gives me happiness. And plus, I started as a still photographer, I was a still photographer for many years, and then I went into doing making films. So I have quite visual way of thinking. I'm seeing, when I work, I always see images or scenes. So the combination of this visually way of approaching life and also cutting events together, that is for me making movies. Again, it makes me very, very happy. And I hope that I can do that until I die one day.
Was there ever a moment when you were unhappy making movies?
I've had a couple of times where, a long time ago, where I did a film that I was really not pleased with. I don't want to say which one. And everything went wrong with that. The script was bad, and it was bad received, and the big fights with the actors and so on. And then I thought, is it really worth it? Is this what I should keep doing? Because it's always such a big effort to do the next one. But then I got the joy back. Still, I like working with actors. I like working with a story, and I like being on the set, working with the crew. And it gives me so much satisfaction, so much happiness. And also, when you have if you have a good scene, if it's well written and you have wonderful actors, and if you have worked for a period of time with the actors already, then you can have a scene, and all of a sudden, everything peaks. It comes together as one thing, and you create magic. You feel you create magic, and then it's gone again. And that's what it's all about, really. Because and you can never do it again. The actors can never do it. No one, we can't do it again. It has to do with that situation, that atmosphere in the room that has been built up for such a long time. And the great thing about all that is you have these moments of magic, but in the very end, the audience in the movie theaters, they will witness exactly what happened that day, those few seconds, and they will feel the same thing, hopefully. And they will also feel that this has nothing to do with somebody else in the room. This has nothing to do with people sitting next to me. This is something personal. I only discover these few moments of magic. And if I can create that, then it is really, really satisfying.
That's very evocative of jazz, or even just being a musician at all. The idea that you can sort of create that frisson that happens when a speaker or singer is doing something right for that instant, which is fascinating. What advice would you give to someone who's trying to enter the industry now, whether as a filmmaker or as a photographer?
The great thing nowadays is that you can actually make a film on your smartphone, and that's amazing. So everybody can be a director. When I started, we had to do films, and the cameras were very expensive and very, very limited. But nowadays, everybody can make a film. But I think it's, first of all, to be honest. You don't try to pretend do something you can't do. Make it the way you think you can control it, and don't make things more complicated. Don't try to do something sophisticated when you shoot a film, especially if you're working with a crew or with actors who expect something from you. So do it simple, something you can control, and be prepared. It's so much in the preparation. If it's a feature film, obviously, then spend time with the actors, take around a table reading and discuss the scenes with the actors, what happened before this scene and so on. So everybody knows exactly what's going on when you shoot a scene, because then that's behind you. Then you can focus on exactly the moment, the space, the atmosphere in the room, and whatever. So a lot of preparation. Don't make it too complicated, and be honest.
What do you think of all the AI stuff happening?
It's a big help. It depends on how you use it, but we use it all the time, but not in a very sophisticated way, but like crowd doubling or whatever it is that we have to erase things. But of course, one has to be careful how to use it. But the kind of film I'm doing, it's just a big help.
Have you seen any other sort of technological improvements that are at this level of sophistication? I guess you probably went from film to digital. That was probably a big switch, and nonlinear editing, etc.
Everything comes down to a good story, and if you don't have a good story, it doesn't help. So, and also, I think it's important also to have a clear idea of what the premises is, and then create a story where it's very clear what the premise is, and exclude everything else. Just focus on that. Then you can have a lot of this technical stuff. You can use IA or whatever you use. It's a tool. It's just a tool. See it as a tool. But if you want to create something that means something to the audience also and to yourself, then you can use whatever. It doesn't matter how you do it.
Use a pinhole camera. Tell me real quick. I know you have many more of these to do all day, and I don't want to bother you. Tell us real quick about the new film. Why folks should go see it, other than having your name on it.
This is a beautiful story about bitterness. Can love be confused by bitterness? Can bitterness be confused by love? It's something we experience all the time, and it's a big moral issue question there. And it's a beautiful, dramatic story about this young guy. He comes from a poor family. He's into the military now. And then all of a sudden, there's a girl near the barracks who falls in love with him. And he's totally confused by his own feelings for her. But he's a good guy, and he has a lot of empathy. That's his big problem. It's beautiful with that drama. It's not a bad guy who has an enemy. People having empathy. It's a big problem because he feels sorry for her. He has a big empathy for this handicapped girl. And what can he do? Should he? Because if he declares he's in love with her, it'd be scandal for him because of his position. But at the same time, he feels so sorry for her, he feels pitiless for her. And all she's asking for is be respected as a person. She is. So it's a very interesting, unique love story.
Why did you pick empathy as the focus in terms of the story, or in terms of the I suppose the way the focus?
Because we all have empathy, don't we? We should have, at least.
We should have empathy. Yes.
I mean, unfortunately, the world is changing a lot, where it's more about ourselves. It's so much more about me, what is good for me. But we still have empathy, and it's important to remember people. That's a big quality in human beings. Unfortunately, this story it's an obstacle, but still, it's beautiful. And also, for me personally, why I've asked myself often, why do I make films? But for me, why do I tell stories? But it's remind myself that, and maybe also hopefully remind the audience that human beings are human beings.
Well, this has been absolutely lovely, Billy. This is amazing for me, and to speak to someone with your caliber is great for the show, and I think everybody will really enjoy this.
Thank you very much.
All right, this has been Keep Going, a podcast about success and failure. I'm John Biggs. We'll see you next week. Thank you for listening to Keep Going, a podcast about success and failure. Remember, Keep Going is entirely listener supported. If you're listening to this, please head over to keepgoingpod.com, where you can subscribe to the podcast for as little as $5 a month. This is a labor of love, and every little bit helps. Thanks for listening.